city in a Batmobile. Even though it get crazy, niggas don't talk like Swayze.
Now, as we all know, right? As we all know, KayFlock has been found guilty. On 4 out of the 5 charges that he was facing. Now, as you can read, count 1. Actually, let's go to my notes. I think I have some notes, right? Yeah, I got some notes right here. This is how serious I had to take this one right here, because I was like, I have to teach you people. Count 1, RICO, guilty. Count 2, murder in aid of racketeering, not guilty. Count 3, use of firearm resulting in death, guilty. Count 4, RPT shooting, guilty. Count 5, gun charge, guilty. Now, I think the thing that has people really losing their mind or whatever have you when it comes to this, right, is that they seen count 2 and they seen murder. They seen the word murder and then seen not guilty, and they ran with it. KayFlock not guilty for murder. Yo, he beat the body. Yo, he beat the murder charge. Whoop the whoop. Let me break this down for y'all. Real quick. All right? Where is it at? Because I got some notes for y'all. These are the counts. All right? These are the counts. Okay? Now, count 1 with the racketeering conspiracy, as I showed y'all, right? He was found guilty for the RICO. Now, what does it read, right? For the RICO, from at least in or about 2017 up to the, and including the present, Kevin Perez, Devin Mason, aka BJ, Irvin Beeman, Nicholas Johnson, Sean Smith, right? The defendants and other known and unknown were members and associates of the criminal organization named Southside or DOA. Okay? Let's bring it down here. Southside DOA, including its leadership and its memberships, is associated constituted that shit just beat my ass. An enterprise as defined by title, blah, 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 blah. That is a group of individuals associated in effect, although not legal entities. Southside/DOA constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose. Understand that common purpose part, okay? Understand that common purpose, because then you'll understand where we're coming from right here. Now, what's the purposes? The purposes of Southside DOA included preserving and protecting the power and territory of Southside DOA and its members and associates through acts involving murder, assault, other acts of violence, and threats of violence. Now, I want you guys to just pay attention to this part right here, right? This is what they're saying the purpose of the Southside DOA is, okay? Believe me. Please, I understand there's a lot of words. You know, some people get really confused and everything when it comes to words. But understand what we're talking about. We're talking about count 1 right now with what he got found guilty on. Racketeering conspiracy. Let's go to what he was found not guilty on. The murder in aid of racketeering. Pay attention, people. Please lock in. Lock in, people. Lock in, y'all. Lock in. Where's the count 2 at? Here we go. Count 2, violent crime in aid of racketeering. And they're talking about the December 16th, 2021 murder. And as you can see, Perez. Lock in, chat. Lock in. At all times relevant of this indictment, Southside/DOA, as described in paragraphs 1 through 5 on count 1 of this indictment, which are repeated and incorporated by reference as though fully set forth herein, including its leadership, members, and associates, constituted an enterprise, as the term is defined in blah, 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 right? At all times relevant to this indictment, is set aside through its members and associates engaged in racketeering activity as the term is defined. Pay attention to the racketeering activity, What they're speaking about is the RICO. Now, on or about December 16, 2021, in the Southern District of New York, elsewhere, Kevin Perez, the defendant, and others known or unknown, blah, 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 blah. A thing of pecuniary value from South Side DOA and for the purpose of maintaining an increasing position in the South Side. Remember, the purpose of maintaining an increasing position in South Side / DOA is what you guys need to pay attention to. An enterprise engaged in racketeering activities as described above, knowingly murdered Wasca Hernandez and aided and abetted the same in the vicinity of 151st Street and Amsterdam Avenue in New York, New York. With intent, with intent to cause the death of another person, Perez caused the death of Hernandez and aided and abetted the same. Under the circumstances, evincing, damn, I'm getting my ass beat right now, a depraved indifference to human life, Perez recklessly engaged in conduct which created a grave risk of death to another person, and thereby caused the death of Hernandez, and aided and abetted the same. Now let me break down to you what they're basically trying to say, right? What they're trying to break down right now, and this is what the state was trying to present to the, the courts, the jurors, and everything, was this. The killing of Wasca was meant to further the gang. This is the reason why KayFlock was found not guilty when it came to his count 2. And this is where, if you ask me, the feds, the state, whatever you want to call them, this is where they did bad. Because what they did was this. When KayFlock got locked up, right, he turned himself in for the murder of Wasca Hernandez. Now, when he first turned himself in, right, that was it. It was for the shooting at the end of the day. It was for the shooting at the end of the day. The minute they sat there and threw the RICO on this situation and wrapped this situation that went on with Wasca Hernandez into the RICO, that's when they started to sit there and try to imply or convince people that, look, the reason why KayFlock sat there and killed Wasca Hernandez was for furtherance, to aid and abet the gang, to further their strength in the streets for territory purposes, and this, that, and the third. Now, this is the reason why he was found, again, not guilty for that. He's not found not guilty because he did not kill somebody or he beat somebody or whatever have you, and this, that, and the third. They tried to paint it as he killed Wasca for DOA, when at the end of the day, that's not what happened. That's just genuinely not what happened. Now, if you look at the count 3, which he is guilty for, use of firearm resulting in death, the thing that he is guilty for, right? On or about December 16, 2021 in the Southern District, elsewhere, blah, 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 they always do the same shit. The defendant during and in relation of a crime of violence for which he may be prosecuted in the court of the United States, namely the murder charge in count 2 of this indictment, knowingly used and carried a firearm, and in furtherance of such crime possessed a firearm, and in the course thereof did cause the death of a person through the use of firearm, which resulted in killing is murder as defined in title, blah, 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 right? And did aid and abet the same, too, with Perez shot and killed Wasca Hernandez, and aided and abetted the same in the vicinity of 151st Street and Amsterdam Avenue in New York, New York. Now, the reason why he did not sit there and get hit with the count 2 is because the government was trying to sit there and say, Wasca was an op. when it comes to murder, we're talking about intent. Okay? You're talking about premeditated murder. All right? At the end of the day, there's no proof, nor anything that the jurors was able to sit there and find that showed KayFlock purposely went to that Sugar Hill side to find Wasca and kill him with intent. If they would have found some type of text messages, some type of phone calls, tap lines, DMs, something like that that showed niggas sit there talking about, yo, Wasca's at this barbershop right now. He's at the barbershop right now. Go over there, do what you gotta do. Pop off. This, that, and the third. Go spin. That will be him committing a murder in furtherance for the gang, DOA/Southside. It's called intent. It's called premeditated. The reason why he was found not guilty for the murder in aid of racketeering is because the jury, when they was in deliberations, they sat there and they was like, okay, for the RICO, yeah, he's guilty. For the use of firearm resulting in someone's death, yes, he's guilty. The RPT shootings, I guess the state, you know what I'm saying, showed enough evidence that convinced the jury that, you know, he was doing the shootings and this, that, and the third. And the gun charge, you know, that's obvious why he was found guilty. But they all sat down around each other during the deliberation, right? And they sat there and said, look, you cannot prove that the murder of Wasca Hernandez is for the furtherance of the gang DOA Southside. I hope I'm not losing y'all right now. The jury sat there and said, look, y'all are not providing enough evidence that's showing me at the end of the day that the reason why KayFlock killed Wasca was for the gang. Now, don't get me wrong. The U.S., the government, they sat there and, they was trying to be slick with it. They said, all right, we already got him for, that body that he caught when it came to Wasca. We could just wrap this into the RICO and sit there and say, like, look, and for the furtherance of the gang, he even killed this person. The jury sat down and used their brains. They thought about it during deliberations and sat there and said, no. That Wasca situation that happened on 151st, that was separate from this whole RICO thing. That was some other situation. That had nothing to do with what he's being charged with when it comes to this whole RICO indictment that we're speaking of. So that's the reason why he was found not guilty. Not guilty of not sitting there taking someone's life. He's guilty of that. As you can see with the count 5, he's guilty of that. Not count 5, my bad. The count 3. He's guilty of that. But what they did not let the government do is sit there and blame the killing that happened with Wasca and KayFlock. They did not allow them to sit there and bunch this into the RICO shit. So that's why he was not found guilty of murder in aid of racketeering. Does that make sense or does that not make sense? I just gotta sit there and see real quick. Does that make sense or does that not make sense? Because believe me, I understand. We can sit here and see from right here. This right here is the jury verdict. The paper that was said, that they had amongst the people and everything like that, that you see what was checked off and everything. Look, as to count 1, how do you find defendant Kevin Perez? Again, what's count 1? Come on, guys, what's count 1? RICO. RICO is count 1, right? They find him guilty for that. If and only if you find defendant Perez guilty of count 1, which type of racketeering acts do you find were involved in the offense? Acts involving murder, committed, attempted, aided and abetting, cause another to commit, conspiracy to commit. Proved, acts involving wire fraud. Proved, acts involving bank fraud. Proved. So yeah. According to the jury, they said, yeah. Did these niggas sit there do some scamming and all types of stuff and probably like shoot up RPT or whatever have you for the gang? Yeah. That could be proved. If and only if you find defendant Kevin Perez guilty of count 1, did the pattern of racketeering activity include the murder of Wasca Hernandez? No. Look at your screen. No. And I'm not gonna hold you. I think this was a good part on the jurors. This is a good part on the jurors. They didn't just listen to the state and just listen to their word and be like, oh yeah, like, all right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? All right, whatever Kevin Perez ever did, even if he beat up some random person right there or whatever have you, you're gonna have to prove to us that shit had something to do with the furtherance and aiding of racketeering when it comes to the RICO charge that y'all trying to put on him. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Look, count 2. Murder and aid of racketeering. As to count 2, how do you find defendant Kevin Perez not guilty? Why? Why do they not found him guilty when it comes to the Wasca Hernandez situation? Is because the government, the people that's fighting, you know what I'm saying, trying to get K locked up and everything like that, they was not able to sit there and prove that the reason why Kevin Perez shot and killed Wasca Hernandez was for the gang. This is where the murder and aid of racketeering comes from. This is where it comes from. So it's not that they sat there and said, no, he's not guilty for murdering and he beat the body, or no, there was no body, or nah, he didn't kill him. No. You could not prove to us as the jury, you could not prove to us as a juror that he killed Wasca for the gang, DOA/F side. You cannot prove that. The only thing that you could sit there and prove is that he did kill somebody. But could you prove that? Are there some text messages? Are there some phone calls? Something that shows that, okay, Kevin Perez went over there and killed Wasca on purpose because it was with intent and it was premeditated. That the gang, somebody sat there and called him and said like, yo, he's at the barbershop right now. Go over there and spin. No, what happened was Kevin Perez, KayFlock, was walking down the block, happened to see somebody. Somebody saw him. They sat there, looked at each other. And this is a confrontation that happened that is totally opposite of a murder in aid of racketeering. They're talking about the RICO. This is why he was found not guilty for that, because they couldn't prove that. This doesn't mean that he beat a body. This doesn't mean that he still didn't murder somebody. Now look at the count 3. Violent crimes in aid of racketeering. They're talking about RPT shootings. All right? Assault with a dangerous weapon. Proved. Whatever the government sat there and showed was proved in the eyes of the jurors that that's what went down. Attempt murder, possibly. They're talking about the RPT shootings. Proved. Whatever videos that they had of this nigga Kevin sitting there shooting shit up or whatever have you, it was proved to the jurors that that's what happened. But one thing that they sat there and said is, you're not about to sit here and tell us that KayFlock intentionally, with malice, on some premeditated murder type shit, went over there and tried to take this man's life. Whatever went on with Wasca and KayFlock is totally separate from the RICO charges that you are trying to put on him and his peoples. I swear to God, if you guys don't understand what I'm talking about right now, then gang, niggas is just lost. Count 4, firearms offense. Look, it's obvious. As to count 4, how do you find defendant Perez? Firearms offense. Guilty. Did he brandish? Yes. Did he discharge it? Yes. So now when we talking about count 4, let's go back. RPT shootings. RTP shootings. Guilty. Guilty of the RPT shootings, all right? Guilty of the RPT shootings. So you got to understand, for these 4 counts, right? Right here that we're looking at. The reason why he was found not guilty on the murder and aid of racketeering, I'm going to say it again. The reason why he was not found guilty for the murder and aid of racketeering. I swear people just sat there and saw count 2 and seen the word murder and seen not guilty and said, yo, he beat the body. Nah, he's not guilty for the murder. Gang, he's still, bro, he is still guilty for taking that man's life at the end of the day. Now, the way that the state tried to present it, he's not guilty of. He's not guilty of that because they tried to present it in such a way, which was not true at the end of the day. Let me say it to you like this, right? Say if you was a part of gang ABC, right? You're a part of gang ABC. That's your gang. You rep the gang ABC all day, every day. You even got it tatted, right? Say one day you're randomly going to the club. You go to the club, somebody steps on your sneaker. He steps on your sneaker, you back out and you shoot the person and you kill him. You turn yourself in for that shooting and that killing, right? Now the feds want to come in and sit there and say, oh wait, hold on. You know what we want to do? We want to do a whole indictment of the ABC gang. Yeah, we want to do a whole indictment of the ABC gang. And you know what? We think that you shot that person in the club because he's an op, and that's the reason why you did it. When at the end of the day, the only reason why you shot that motherfucker is because he stepped on your sneakers. It has nothing to do with the RICO that these niggas are trying to put on it. So no, you are not going to be found guilty of murder and aid of racketeering when at the end of the day, the only reason why you shot him was because he stepped on your sneakers. It had nothing to do with no motherfucker sitting there, no op, no retaliation, no get back, glah, glah, boom, none of that. He stepped on your goddamn fucking all white Air Forces. He scuffed the shit, so you shot him and you killed him. But what you're not gonna do is sit there and act like the reason why that went down was because of this whole gang because I'm a part of ABC gang. That's not what you're gonna do. And that's the reason why he was able to beat that. They tried to construe 2 things that was not related to each other. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? You're a part of ABC gang and you happen to kill somebody. It happens to be that the feds decided to pick all of the ABC members up and put an indictment on them. And now they're trying to sit there and take that shooting that you did in that club because a nigga stepped on your shoe and try to say, well, he did that because that was a op and that was really, a part of the retaliation and what they got going on when it comes to this whole gang beef in the streets. No, it doesn't. This is a random as far as the jurors is concerned. This is a random person. That was an isolated incident between them, confrontation. So you're not going to be able to bring that into the RICO and say this is the reason why he got shot, he got killed, was because of aiding of racketeering, furtherance of the gang, of the ABC gang. You're not going to be able to do that. And that's why he was found not guilty of that. It doesn't mean that he was not found guilty of catching that body. He was just not found guilty of the way that the state was trying to present it to the courts. Now, don't get me wrong. Smooth move on the, the U.S. government end. Smooth move. Like, they tried some slick shit. Oh, look, we're going to sit here and just everything that KayFlock ever done, we're going to sit there and try to put it on this RICO and say everything that he did was for furtherance of his gangs to sit there and for power of territory and this, that, and the third or whatever have you, and this was retaliation. But they could not prove that when it comes to the Wasca shooting in KayFlock. Do you understand what I'm saying? They could not prove that. So it's not that he beat a body. He just beat what they tried to say he caught the body for. That's what he beat. They try to say he caught the body for this. They're trying to say he caught the body because of the gang. When at the end of the day, it was an isolated incident. We all seen the video. He was coming out of he was walking down the block. He looked to his left, seen Wasca. Few words were said. Wasca said whatever he said. Then Wasca came out of the barbershop and he wound up getting shot by KayFlock. That's an isolated incident within the juror's head. During deliberation, they sat there and said, this is an isolated incident. So no, he's not guilty of this murder, which you guys are trying to say was caused to aid and abet for racketeering when it comes to the RICO and this whole gang situation. The state was not able to prove that. So that is what he's found not guilty of. I swear to God, I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about, bro. I know this is cool. And this is the thing, right? I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the people that's a little confused about it, because you got to understand, these blog pages just straight up put, yo, KayFlock not guilty of murder. And that's all niggas read. That's all niggas read. Niggas only read that headline, KayFlock not guilty of murder, and niggas ran with it. What the headline, if niggas was being truthful and being honest, this is what the headline should have read. Jury did not find KayFlock guilty of murdering Wasca for furtherance of the gang DOA/Southside. That's what the headline should have read. But you know, it's a little more spicy. It's a little more like, you know what I'm saying, controversial. Gets more clicks, gets more, you know what I'm saying, likes and everything if you just put KayFlock not guilty of murder. It's not that he's not guilty of catching the body. He's just not guilty of what they're trying to claim that he caught the body for. Does that make any sense to any of you people that I'm talking to right now? I'm sure it does. My chat is pretty smart. La Familia is pretty smart. I'm sure you guys understand what the fuck I'm talking about, right? I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. But look, let's just read it from here. Let's read this. This was released yesterday. Kevin Perez, a.k.a. KayFlock, was the leader of a neighborhood street gang known as Southside/DOA. And with that gang, he committed a series of gang-motivated shootings. Perez, a drill rapper, instilled fear across the community with his violent actions, and then threatened rivals, bragged about shootings, and taunted victims in his rap lyrics. But as a unanimous jury has now found, Perez can no longer hide behind his music and instead will be held to account for his violent crimes. Thanks to the hard work of the career prosecutors of this office and our law enforcement partners, the cycle of violence that Perez engaged in is over. This office remains resolute. Oh shit, it's beating my ass right now. That was a stroke, y'all. And its commitment to prosecuting gang members who sow fear and spread violence on our city streets. Look at what I'm talking about specifically, y'all. This is what I want y'all to sit there and realize. Look what KayFlock sat there and said. He said, I beat, now this is his stories, right? This is in his stories. He said, I beat the top count. I made the judge cry. He said, now he's not forced to give me life. Everything good, not good. Everything bad, not bad. Just gotta stay humble till the outcome of the situation to see what Allah got for you. Now, granted, right here, KayFlock is absolutely right. The top charge was the murder in aid of racketeering. Where was it at, y'all? Where was it at? Hold on. Now, we ain't even get to that yet. Hold on. The top charge was the count 2, the murder in aid of racketeering, because this right here comes with a mandatory life sentence. So granted, I'm not saying that there's like an L that he didn't like get, you know, I mean, there's not a W that he didn't get when it comes to this situation. He caught this W because at the end of the day, the reason why KayFlock is sitting there saying that the judge possibly, allegedly, who knows if this is true, cried and said, yo, now I'm not forced to give you life, is because that charge right there that he was found not guilty on was a mandatory life sentence. But it doesn't mean that the man is out the waters and he's still not being charged and facing a life sentence for the murder of Wasca. He didn't beat a body. He just beat what them niggas tried to say he caught the body for. Do you get? I don't know how hard I gotta. I don't know, girl. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you. Use of firearm resulting in a death is still a body. So when I seen this, and this was going on like, making its rounds, right? Where they was showing like a message from, KayFlock, and he basically said, nigga, Allah did right. I beat that body. I ain't beat that. Wait. Damn, it's cut off a little bit. Fuck, where did I have it at? Didn't I have the whole thing? It's cut off a little bit. But look, basically he's saying, I beat that body. I beat that. I was going to be doing life. Oh, yeah, if I ain't beat that body, I was going to be doing life. Word, now I'm facing from 0 to 20 years. Could get from 0 to 20. Could get 5 if the judge wants. And I could be home the same day because I got 4 in already. See, this is the part right here where I'm really like, this is the part that's very unfortunate, right? Because I don't know if KayFlock said this because he's delusional. I don't know if he said this because he's in denial. I don't know if he said this because he's just trying to save face. I don't know if he said this because his lawyers are just, I don't know, not informing him and giving him clarity of what it is. You didn't beat a body, gang. You beat what they tried to claim that you caught the body for. You didn't beat a body. You was found guilty. Where was it at? For the body. Where was it at? No, not in the record hearing. No. Where was it at? No. Firearm use resulting in somebody's death, right? Yeah. Gang. You didn't beat a body. You still found guilty for the use of a firearm resulting in a death. How the hell did you beat the body if you was found guilty for the use of firearm resulting in a death? You didn't beat a body. You just beat what they tried to claim that you caught that body for. That's it. That's the only thing that he beat. And I understand niggas said it like, yo, Swayze, whoop the woo, he beat the murder. I'm telling you, these blog pages sat there and clickbaited the shit out of y'all. Them niggas sat there, saw count 2, served murder and aid of racketeering, did none of this research of reading any of this shit to see what the fuck they meant by it, and just put, yo, he beat the murder. He beat the murder. Niggas just seen not guilty. Niggas seen one word, murder, and then seen not guilty and said, yo, he beat the murder. He didn't beat the body, gang. Is niggas not really my thing is this, is niggas not reading? Like, I can understand us, you guys, like, you know what I'm saying, the everyday people that's coming to certain platforms like mine and others to get the news. I can understand y'all not going through the black and whites and reading through all this shit. Why the fuck should y'all? Y'all working. Y'all got, like, you know what I'm saying, family to feed, family to take care of, everything like that. Y'all niggas not about to sit here and read through all of this shit. But this is what my job is. This is what I get paid to do. Read through this shit. And if you read through it, you will obviously see that he did not beat nobody. He beat, again, I'm going to keep repeating this shit. He beat what they sat there and tried to say he caught the body for. That's what he beat. So as I put right here, right? KayFlock speaks after hearing the verdict. Says the judge cried because he was not forced to give him a mandatory life sentence, which was the top charge. The murder and aid of racketeering to furtherance of the gang, DOA/Sevside. He was found not guilty for murdering Mr. Hernandez to further the gang DOA Southside. However, he is still facing life in prison for the shooting that resulted in the death of Mr. Hernandez. And I had to sit there and, go on the bag up to sit there and put this because I ain't about to argue with these niggas on my main shit. Niggas be niggas be sitting there trying to flag you because you in the comments sitting there trying to get facts or whatever have you. I said, for clarity, he did not beat the body. He was found not guilty for what the state claimed he caught the body for. Good luck, KayFlock. So this part right here where I see him talking about he beat a body. Bro. Is this a coping mechanism? Like, what's going on right now? Or are the people, or is KayFlock's lawyers and them not really fully explaining to him what is going on right now? Do you understand these charges, gang? Do you understand these charges that I'm showing y'all, right? His co-defendants, they took pleas. They took plea deals. And they was found guilty of every single thing that he was found guilty of, except for catching a body. They was found guilty of every single thing that KayFlock has been found guilty on, except for catching that body. They don't got no body on them. And they took a plea deal. And you know how much years they doing? They doing 12 to 13 or 15 years off of a plea deal. A plea deal. Them niggas ain't go to trial. Them niggas ain't go to trial and blow it. They getting 13, 12 years off of a plea deal. And they was found guilty of everything that this nigga Flock was found guilty on. The only difference is they don't got a body on them. Flock has a body. So if these niggas caught 13, 12 years, what the fuck do you think they gonna do to Flock on July 19th or 18th when they gotta go to court for the sentencing? What do you think what do you think they gonna throw at him? Let's be honest here. Let's really think and use our minds. What do you think they're gonna do? What do you honestly think they're gonna do? Oh nah, yo, it's KayFlock, you know what I'm saying? Like he makes good music and a lot of people like him. Yeah, the guys that took the plea deal, you know what I'm saying, caught 13, 12 years or whatever have you for everything that he got caught guilty for. But you know what? We're gonna give Flock 5 years. Like he said, like I could possibly get 5 years and I'll be out next year because I'm already 4 in, you know what I'm saying, time served. You think that them niggas gonna sit there and give this nigga 5 years? Are you? I don't understand niggas' minds or think like. Gang, it's common sense. It's common sense. Now, granted, I'm not sitting here saying that they're gonna sit there and give the guy life. But look at this. Hold on, where is it at? Look at this. For the use, carry, or possession of a firearm in relation to or in furtherance of a drug, felony, or federal crime of violence. Punishment ranges from at least 5 years up to life imprisonment without parole or death if death results from use of firearm. What did he get found guilty of? Use of firearm resulting in death. So when I sat there and I first posted it up, everyone's like, yo, what you mean life? Yo, this, then, the third, whoop, the whoop, or whatever have you. Da-da-da-da, ha, nah. Yo, you see, niggas need to sit there and really, do their research before they, start posting. Just because these other blogger niggas is scared to sit there and say what this man is facing, because I don't know, I guess it's the unpopular opinion and people would like to hear yo, he getting out tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you what the truth is. I read this shit. I go through these documents, gang. I go through these shits. I skim through these shits. I read these black and whites. Punishment ranges from at least 5 years up to life imprisonment without parole or death if death results from the use of a firearm. Count 3, use of a firearm resulted in death. Guilty. So rather you niggas wanted to hear a pretty, you know what I'm saying, nice way that it was put or whatever have you, I'm gonna break down the truth to you. He's facing life still. Now, is he getting mandatory life? No, it's not necessarily mandatory. But if the judge wakes up on the wrong side of the bed that day and says he want to throw life at this kid, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Now, do I necessarily think that Flock is going to get life? I don't think so. But best believe this nigga ain't getting 5 years. He ain't getting 2 to 5. Especially if he has Code D's who sat there and pled guilty. And this is another thing. Flock took it to trial. He took the shit to trial. Which I'm not gonna hold you. I gotta give Flock, you know what I'm saying, some credit when it comes to that. Cause like, pause on what I'm about to say. Pause on what I'm about to say, right? Hold on, what? Nah, Swayze, sound like you talking with the boys now. See, this is the thing that I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Niggas don't read. Niggas don't look more into shit. Niggas just read headlines from, you know, I guess you know what I'm saying, their favorite blog page that they're reading from in this, that, and the third, and they run with it. Now when Swayze presents real hard-hitting facts, niggas is, I don't know, talking to the boys. Look, I think in today's time with these kids, if you read, that's like minus aura, you know what I'm saying? As the kids say, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no aura in reading. Oh, you know how to read? You actually don't just look at a headline and just listen to what people just sit there throwing up. You really go into shit and look through paperwork and see what the fuck niggas is really meaning. Minus 1,000 aura. Minus 1,000 aura. This nigga reads. This nigga be reading, y'all. Y'all. This nigga be reading. Minus 1,000 aura. He be reading. These niggas don't read. They don't read. So now when I'm sitting there presenting facts and evidence, and I'm telling you, he's facing life at the end of the day, even though he beat what people are trying to say, the murder judge. He didn't beat the murder judge. He beat what they tried to say that he murdered the person for. That's what he beat. That's what he beat. He's still facing life for catching that body, gang. He's still facing life for catching that body, my nigga. I hate to break it to you like that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. That's what's going on right now. So I don't understand this aspect of people saying like, yo, Swayze, whoop the whoop, this, that, and the third, or whatever have you. Gang, I'm just presenting to you what's going on. Now, do I think he's going to get life? I don't think the judge is going to throw life at him. I don't think he's going to get life. But like I told you, his Code D is sitting there, caught 12 to 13 years off of everything that KayFlock got found guilty of. And they took a plea deal. KayFlock took it to trial. They hate when you take it to trial and don't just take the plea deal. They hate that shit. They try to make sure that they go out their way. They try to make sure that they go out their way to make an example of you when you blow trial and you are found guilty of these things, because they present you a plea deal in the first place. Now, what I'm saying is when it comes to his Code D's or whatever have you, I believe that they straight up took the plea deal at the end of the day because, bro, they didn't have money for a high power attorney the way that KayFlock had the money for the high power attorney that he had at the time. Remember, he had somebody that he was sitting there, who El Chapo, remember? El Chapo's former lawyer that he had at first? You guys remember El Chapo's former lawyer? He had money for that type of attorney. Them other niggas, them Cody's, they didn't have no money to sit there and try to fight this shit to go to trial like that. So they sat there and looked at what was on table. Them niggas probably presented the situation to them and said, look, We could sit there and hit you with 23 to 25 years right now, or you could take this 12 years, 13 years. Them niggas said, fuck it, give me the 12 and 13. Because 20 to 25 sounds fucking crazy. It sounds crazy. Flock, and I gotta give Flock his props for this. He didn't take a plea on none of these shits. He fought every single one of the charges. Now, do I think that was the smartest thing to do? I don't know. I don't think so, especially now that we're looking at the verdict and see what happened. I don't think so. But he had the money to sit there and fight it. His codees and shit, they didn't have no money to sit there and hire no high-power attorneys to sit there and fight that shit like that. I'll give it to Flock. He stood 10 toes down and fought that shit. He lost, but he fought it. Was it the best advice? Probably not. Probably not. But he fought it at the end of the day. And he blew trial. This is just a fact. He blew trial, gang. If that nigga was found not guilty on basically the RICO, John, he was found not guilty on. The murder in aid of racketeering, he was not found guilty on. The RPT shootings, he was not found guilty on, and he was only found guilty on the gun charge and the use of firearm resulting in a death. He would have had a way better chance. But you got to understand, when it comes to the feds, they know what they're doing. Again, KayFlock turned himself in for the shooting of Wasca. And then they slapped the RICO on the situation. They knew what they was doing when they did that. Because it was like, look, if you sit there and get a little self-defense, you got a good lawyer. You know, we're talking about this as KayFlock at his height, right? You got a good lawyer. You got money. You signed. Them niggas gonna put some bread behind you and this, that, and the third. You might be able to beat or at least get self-defense when it comes to the shooting death of Wasca. But you ain't beating all of this. If we slapped that RICO, you ain't beating these RPT shootings. You ain't beating they thought that you ain't beating the murder in aid of racketeering. They thought that he wasn't going to beat that. They did bad when they tried to sit there and put in the Wasca shooting within the RICO. They did bad, but they said, we're going to get you somehow for something. You got that money, you sitting there, you possibly could get the self-defense type of situation and only get charged for the gun. This is what I said before. This is what I said last time to you guys. This is literally what I broke down and said to you guys last time. It's literally what I sat there and broke down to you guys last time. I was sitting there being, you know what I'm saying, being optimistic. I was like, yo, guys, look, the trial's going on. This is before the verdict came, before they started deliberations, during deliberations. I was sitting there saying, like, look, yo, he could sit there and possibly beat this and only get charged for, like, the gun and get charged for, like, you know what I'm saying, the death. And they could pop, you know, if his defense is nice like that, they could probably finesse it in a way where it's like, yo, it was defense, self-defense, probably get off on some manslaughter type of way and this, that, and the third or whatever have you. It could have been like that. I was being optimistic for Flock. Now that I'm sitting here telling you what the facts are, that he's sitting there facing life because of the verdict and what's presented in front of us when it comes to this paperwork and when it comes to this shit, now I'm being negative. Yo, you being negative, yo. You being negative. Negative your mother. Negative your life, gang. Negative your life. But look. This is what KayFlock sat there and said. You know, when it comes to his statement. He spoke, and this was his official statement. Listen, guys.
Flock here. Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight, though. Make my first official statement about it. I want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a hell of a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till law says over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all, everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been, and I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too. Flock here. Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight, though. Make my first official statement about it. I want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a hell of a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till Allah says over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all. Everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been. And I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too.
Now, my thing is this, right? When it comes to Flock, like I said, if anything, I feel bad for him more than anything. Who I'm really coming at is not even like, you know, the people that's just like, you know, rooting, because majority of y'all niggas is young. You know what I'm saying? Majority of you guys are just KayFlock fans, and I understand trying to, you know, keep hope. But like I said in the video, bro, like I said last time, best case scenario, KayFlock gets 15 to 20. He'll get 4 years knocked off for time served. You know what I'm saying? And like with good behavior, let's say he gets 15, right? Which I think is pushing it, because his people that pled guilty, it seems like 15 was probably on the table. They probably presented 15 on the table to KayFlock, and he said, nah, I'm not taking that. We're going to take this shit to trial, right? But let's say best case scenario, he gets 20. They knocked the 4 years off already, he got 16. With good behavior and everything like that, let's say he'll probably end up doing 12, 13. That's the best case scenario when it comes to this situation. Worst case scenario, the judge throws the book at him and gives him life. Worst case scenario. Now, do I think he's gonna get life? No. I think he's. Don't get me wrong. As y'all kids say, he's cooked. He's gonna be doing some football numbers. But you gotta understand why this is a win for him to not get that mandatory life sentence. Is because, as you know, if you talk to anybody that did time or does time or is doing time and this, that, and the third, as long as you have a date, it's a W in their eyes. You get what I'm saying? As long as you have a date, there's a W. Even if that date is 20 years from now, at least you have a date. When you got life, that's life. You ain't going nowhere. It's clipped. It's over. You're done. You're going to grow old and wrinkly and shriveled up within jail, and you're going to die in there.
Various gang.
Wait, hold on, Rocky, right? Yo, and everybody, make sure y'all sub up to Rocky. What Rocky said? I'm gonna try once more. If you read the last part of the sentencing guideline, it says that the firearm sentence increases with multiple incidents, and if he brandishes and discharges it on, is it one of these Johns that you? Oh, wait, which one are you talking about? Which one? We talking about count 3? Oh shit! Yup. Oh my God, bro. This proves the point even more, man. This proves the point even more. Mandatory minimum sentence increases depending upon type of firearm involved, sawed-off gun, silencer, etc., whether more than one offense was committed. So we already know that more than one offense was committed. You know what I'm saying? From what we have right here, I told y'all the RPT shootings and this, that, and the third. So it increases even more. Damn, good looks. Good looks, Rocky. Increases even more depending upon the type of firearm. Jesus Christ. That was like a minor stroke right there. Firearm involved. Whether more than one offense was committed and whether the gun was simply possessed or was brandished or discharged. So we could get this at least 5 years shit the fuck up out of here. This at least 5 years shit right here, this at least 5 years, we could get that the fuck up out of here. We could get that one the fuck up out of here. Yeah, we could get that one out of here. Yeah. Yeah, Rocky, I showed them that with the what's the name? They checked off brandished, and look, wait, hold on, look. They checked off, count 4 firearms. As to the count 4, how do you find the defendant Kevin Perez guilty? If and only if you find the defendant Kevin Perez guilty of count 4 was the firearm brandished, yes. Discharged, yes. Gang. Gang, read it again. Mandatory minimum sentence increases depending upon the type of firearm involved, whether more than one offense was committed, and whether the gun was simply possessed or was brandished or discharged. It's right there in front of our eyes. Right there in front of our eyes. Brandished? Yes. Discharged? Yes. Yo, make sure y'all sub up the Rocky, man.
This so game and that shit never faze me. I been chillin', don't know why they hate me. Don't like in the streets, I be told no K's. They me and I'm quick to react like Swayze. I'm too different. Fuck these goofies, I'm stacking my chicken. I'm chatting these niggas some bitches. We send niggas back home with some stitches.